Quote Retreat by Sandor. One quote, one reflection, one thought that could bring a moment of light and energy to your day. Join me as we take a look at today's quote. The quote is by Anatole France, born 1844, died 1924. It reads, "It is by acts and not ideas that people live." Let's take a moment together to explore the messages within this quote. Actions speak louder than words. It's a cliche we've all heard. But what if one of history's greatest writers and thinkers actually proved this to be scientifically true? Today, we are exploring a fascinating quote that challenges everything we think about ideas versus action.
That's really interesting, coming from Anatole France, who won the Nobel Prize in Literature. Here was someone who made his living from ideas, yet he claimed, "It is by acts and not ideas that people live."
You know what's fascinating about the context? France wasn't just writing from some ivory tower. He was born in Paris in 1844, right in the middle of massive social upheaval. The Industrial Revolution was transforming society, and he saw firsthand how ideas needed action to create real change.
So he was really living through a time when abstract theories were being tested in the real world, wasn't he?
Exactly. And here's what makes this so relevant today. Franz wasn't just theorizing about action versus ideas. He actually put himself on the line, becoming a vocal advocate for freedom of thought and individual rights, often clashing with the ruling elite. That took real courage in 19th century France.
Well, that makes me think about how we often get stuck in what modern psychologists call analysis paralysis. You know, when we spend so much time planning that we never actually do anything.
Oh man, that's exactly what France was warning against. And it's even more relevant now with social media and information overload. We can spend hours consuming other people's thoughts without ever developing our own through experience.
The technology angle really brings this into focus, like how we have all these productivity apps and planning tools, but sometimes they just become another way to avoid taking action.
You know what's really powerful about France's approach? He managed to bridge that gap between intellectual life and practical action. His works weren't just philosophical treatises, they were engaging stories that challenged established norms and tried to effect real change.
So if we look at his legacy, it seems like he was really ahead of his time in understanding how ideas and action need to work together. He wasn't suggesting we abandon thinking entirely, right?
Not at all. And that's such an important distinction. When you look at his life trajectory, you can see how he developed this perspective. He started as a bookseller's son, surrounded by ideas in a pure form, but evolved into someone who understood that ideas need to be activated to have real value.
The way you put that makes me think about modern challenges: climate change, social justice, technological disruption. They all require both deep thinking and decisive action.
Exactly. And here's something fascinating about France's approach. He didn't wait until he had perfect ideas before expressing them. His writing evolved over time. His positions developed through engagement with the world. He wasn't afraid to let his ideas be shaped by experience.
Well, that's such a powerful model for how to live. The idea that we learn and grow through doing. not just through thinking about doing.
And what's particularly relevant for our time is how this approach can help us deal with uncertainty. France lived through periods of massive social change, much like we're experiencing today. His message seems to be that we can't think our way through uncertainty. We have to act our way through it.
That really connects with modern psychology and learning theory. The idea that we learn better through experience than through abstract understanding alone.
You know what's really striking? When France won the Nobel Prize in 1921, the committee praised his profound human sympathy and true Gallic temperament. They weren't just recognizing his ideas, they were celebrating how he turned those ideas into meaningful action through his writing and advocacy.
That's such a powerful reminder that even the greatest thinkers need to translate their thoughts into action to make a real impact.
And perhaps that's the most important lesson we can take from both the quote and the man who wrote it. This understanding that real change, whether personal or social, requires us to move beyond the comfort of ideas into the messier but more vital realm of action. It's about having the courage to take those first steps, even when we're not entirely sure where they'll lead us. With that, we conclude this exciting episode. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd appreciate a like and a comment. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. Your support truly helps this channel grow. See you again tomorrow. Yours, Sandor.